So quite cool. It's quite special. What a crazy day I've had. Quite intense, quite emotionally draining as well, as you will see when the videos go live. I think there's one, yeah, going to be two more to get you to today. However, let me show you. This is a pond that I'm very familiar with, the NND Champion. Let me flip that around. This is the NND Champion mud pond in Yomogihira. Pond I've been privileged enough to harvest many times. It's absolutely stunning and quite fascinating that I've got full-on 4G here. I hope the stream quality is decent. Just did a little test with someone and said it were great. So, and luckily the water condition right now is so good, and the koi are all just before our thingy. That Sankey there is actually my fish, which is pretty cool. This is all currently full of sansai growing through to yonsai, and in a moment I will get a bit of food thrown in and we can just sit and enjoy that for a little bit. There she is. Look at that. But pretty crazy. There's been a few of the ponds like this, but the water's just so good in here right now that yeah, I thought it'd be good to come up and share it with you all. Fish are crazy. So you can see this, it's these fantastic big feeders that they use. This is the deck. See up there, that's actually another pond that rarely gets used up there. But I mean the setting. I was a bit afraid. I don't know when the bears usually come out to play, but and again, just listen if I shut up. So peaceful, so tranquil. And it's currently, what are we on? 6:30 in the evening here in Japan. Let's get these some food. And they're absolutely mad for it. Morning, Paul. So Miss Anki getting there. It makes look. I'll throat food in her direction. And what a mix of fish as well. That Strongo Sankey base. Few Shiros thrown in. There's a Dainichi yellow monkey. The Danchos, just stunning. No idea what temperature it is, pal. I should say by their, I mean, it's been 30, air temperature's been 30 degrees today. It's absolutely baking in the past couple of days. Food, I believe from his truck, it's a plain pack Hikari food that they're feeding. But I've been in 2 feeders today and they only smell, the minute I lift the lid up, absolutely massive whack of silkworm. I'm going to ask tomorrow because I get the feeling it might be along the lines of the like the silkworm select diet they've got, maybe. Silkworm in a mud pond is a tool, absolutely lethal, because it can handle what comes from using silkworm. I mean, look at them, they're buzzing. God, don't that yellow monkey stand out. Wouldn't it be nice if I got a few special tosai of them back in UK? I am doing a curious face right now, by the way. Amazing. I was up here this morning actually doing this. I could have just stayed here all day. So I hope you've been enjoying. We got the first video dropped from this trip on the channel, and I believe Aaron's going to work on day 2 today. Probably by the time he gets it done, it's going to be my morning, so we'll see when we get that out. And then the one you really want to wait for is today, day 3's. Oh my god, it has been quite something. Good morning, Alan. Getting rim penny going, look. There's just something so special when you can see them in a kind of natural environment like this, feeding and behaving in this way. I think it just goes to kind of show the water doesn't have to be crystal clear. Seeing them in this way, I don't know what it is about it. I can't really explain it for me. Obviously, it's each to their own, but don't forget, if you're watching, guys, give us a thumbs up on it. So just if you've joined in later on, that right there is actually my Sankey, 3-year Marusho Sankey. It's a pleasant surprise. First fish I laid eyes on when I trotted down here this morning. Sounds like all the frogs are coming out to play as well now. Tell you, the noise from those things near the house where I'm staying is unbelievable. And again, if you are just joining, this is where I'm currently at. It's the NND Champion Mud Pond up in the mountains of Yomogihira. Stunning big pond as well. I'm parked up there. This is all 3-year fish growing through. Yeah, it really is, Mickey. Stunning. Look at that. A few more come to join in the party. As someone actually mentioned to me the other day, the fact that the feeders aren't very full. So you cannot forget two things. They don't necessarily need to be very full. This is not a super remote location. Makoto comes once to twice a day to check everything. It's always at least once. Every pond up here, he comes and personally checks himself, given most of all their best fish reside in these mountains where I am right now. And so he's always got food on the truck to top them up. I think one of the other reasons it's been happening is because the amount of bear attacks in recent years, the habit tends to be the bears either get in and eat the food, and as we all know, koi food's not cheap. Even here in Japan, you give, the amount these guys use. So it makes sense. And it happened to me at one breeder's one year when it was a remote pond that has one of the huge feeders that you can actually fit people inside. They're that big. And the bear basically plunged the feeder full of food into the pond. It completely tanked the water, and there was a lot of fish losses in it. That wouldn't necessarily happen in here, given the size of that feeder compared to that I'm speaking about. But it just makes sense. There is no need for that to be that full of food. It keeps it fresher as well when it's being topped up on a more regular basis. And it's just amazing. And just as I explained earlier in the video, they've even started moving these decks just a little bit further from the side, try and make it a bit more difficult for bears to access it. I have no idea what to do if a bear comes. My instinct would be to run like fuck. Probably try and revert back to them days when I used to play on left wing and get the hell out of here, to be honest. Certainly not going to stay and fight it. Just all around this deck, look. Mickey, I'm not sure the bears are protected, mate. Koaku there, wow. They go to a big effort with the local authorities to actually catch them when they are roaming around. Being Japan, I couldn't tell you what happens when they catch them. Be a bit brutal at times, but they know how dangerous they are, and they do take this stuff seriously. And especially they know how important, koi is the thing in this area. What these guys need, generally they get. I wonder if Makoto is going to wonder why his feeder's a lot emptier than usual in morning. Is anybody bored yet? I'm certainly not. This is epic. And it's not to be taken for granted. I certainly don't. The fact that I am able and trusted enough just to be able to come and roam up here, see these do this. Obviously can't do it everywhere, but I think if I'm not an honorary member of NND by now, there's something wrong. And given the journey we're all just embarking on together with the breeding project here, I was in the fish house at 4:15 AM this morning. Having already woken up at 1 AM like a kid waiting for Christmas. Just look at them out cruising, look. And again, if you want to talk results in mud ponds, I mean, the majority of the fish are in this area right now. I know it won't be much more heavily stocked than this. And look at what they've got. Everyone can talk about water, soft water, whatever fucking bollocks they want to chat. When you give koi that, and there's just that many of them, and you know what you're doing with that, game on. How can you compete with that? And they've naturally got the climate as well. And as most breeders know, real part of the secret is knowing what to do with that. Especially in a mud pond, it's treading a fine line, because this is how we're working. You're working blind. This is not too bad right now, but one of the things they do actually read is the watercolour. Now, I know that seems crazy. It's not watercolour and actually turbidity are two different things, because watercolour, I actually want, that depends on the breeder and the variety in the pond. Now, this is actually a really nice colour that they want to maintain. This pond always maintains it like this. It's amazing. But if you can look, the turbidity is really low at the minute, and that's why we can see the fish as well as we can. Now, it was taught to me in my work experience that when the ponds really become cloudy, it's generally because the koi are digging in the base a lot and the plumes of mud come up, which generally indicates the fish are hungry. So what they will do from that point on is make adjustments to fill the fish up more and hopefully get that settled down. No massive science to it. We're doing everything here visually. It's the only way you can do it in a mud pond. Shit, look at that kohaku. Wow. So we've got that element to it. Watercolour sits a bit separately. So there's a pond that's going to actually be on today's video I stopped by when I was driving down, that's got their DK Shiro's Tosai in by the looks of it. And I shouldn't have done that there. I don't want to encourage them too close to the bank. Again, if you just tuned in, my Senki, that's really quite something, seeing one of your fish swimming around like that. Sorry, yeah, watercolour. So the idea is to try and keep it clearer and fresher for Shirotsuori. That's why often breeders in areas in Japan where they tend to have a more rocky base to the pond, you can see this one's a bit more sandy and clay look. Rocky bases tend to produce water that's a bit better for the sumi during the summer. And this pond I've got, they're actually got loads of fresh mountain water running through it, which is going to try and aid with keeping it a bit clearer for the sumi. And then in the case of when I was spent some time with Nogami during one of my work experience trips, we did a wild thing there in that we actually went putting plant fertilizer into the pond to really turn it green. I don't consider this particularly green water right now. They wanted to turn it pea green to cultivate the spirulina, because being the kohaku specialists that they are, it's all about that benny for them. And that's exactly what they wanted to do. And yes, you heard me right, plant fertilizer. It was that particular trip that summer I realised these are not quite as natural as you would expect. Hell of a lot of work goes into mud ponds in order to get the results. Right, so tell me guys in the comments, would you like me to see if there's a little bank where there's 3 ponds, a Tosai one where I've got some fish I was feeding, they were quite on it earlier. So would you like me to, I can't remember what the signal was like round there. Do you want me to attempt to have a quick scoot? It's only a couple of minutes away, but I can get another session running and see if we can get it working. Let me know before I go and do it. I've got a feeling I might know the answer. You can always re-watch this later on. There we go. I'll take it from them first few. It's the general consensus. So I'll sign off here on this one. Give me a few minutes, and fingers crossed, if the signal's good enough, we'll get back on it. So thank you for tuning in, who has now, and fingers crossed I'll see you in a couple of minutes.